as believers approach generosity outside of tithing and offering?
Like everything, I can only speak from my experience. And we've been having this discussion, CK. We've been having this discussion about generosity and giving. And there's a story that you shared with me that has really triggered me. And I really want you to share this. Now, the thing is, guys, is that there's a whole team of people that help us achieve Adullam. CK is the producer. And a lot of the questions that come from her perception on things. God is speaking to all of us here in this production, right? And he speaks to her and he gives her questions that I think are so important and so relevant, right? So this is CK. Yeah? CK, there's a story that you told me, right? About this guy that you used to work with. I remember you telling me how whenever he wants something, what was it that you said? Share with me the story. Tell me that story.
So my business partner has this principle where if he's struggling in business in any way, like if there's like a deal that's not coming through or he's quoting for work.
Is he a believer?
Yeah, he is.
Okay,
he's a Bible-believing Christian.
Okay.
So if he's quoting for work and there's just like a struggle in the business space, he'll go to his business account and he'll just chuck chums and give. And this is outside of offering and tithe. He just believes that
He'll give towards anything.
He'll give to a ministry, he'll give to a mission, but he just believes there's a release, there's a spiritual thing that happens when you just give. I don't. It's worked for him because every time he gives, then there's a breakthrough. So that culture for me just fascinates me because you're not giving, like he's tithed and he's done offering already. So over and above that, he's built this culture of just releasing like in the spirit. There's a release that just happens when he's not holding on to the thing he knows he already has. Because you're trying to grow your business, the last thing you want to do is just like be like, okay, now let me take the little money I have in the account and give it. But there's a belief system behind the hold that money has over you, and if when you're in like this space of just struggle, you're just able to have an open hand as opposed to
what's so you can see how profound this lady is, right? Why deep conversations. Next time is Wamai is next. But the thing is, what is God saying to us around generosity, especially at a time like this? I feel like it's difficult to have a conversation about generosity and giving without having a conversation about trusting God to provide for us. Because I feel like fundamentally, the base of this conversation is, do I truly trust and believe that God will provide for me? It's the same thing like in terms of, you see with your homie, it's like this guy, him is operating on principle. He's just like, God provides, right? So I go do this to achieve, it's like the endless bounty of provision is within him. But you see, what happens is that, especially like, for example, at a time like this, with all this stuff that's happening, is the reality is I want to make sure that I hold on to everything that I have, because I don't know how long it's going to last. And so being generous at this time is difficult because it's like how can I be generous now? What do I have to even share with anyone? And so, one of the things that occurred to me the other day, I was reading Matthew 6, and it's the story of God's provision with the birds, right? And it says, I even put it up here, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is life not more than food and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? Now, the thing that was so powerful for me when I read this is because I feel like I'm a bird, right? Especially during this season, right? Because they do not sow or reap or store away. So meaning the bird is a very poor planner, right? It just is every day YOLO, yeah? And so meaning that what God is saying here is that he's like, me, I'm a provider. Even for the guy like me, who in this season didn't have 9 months of savings. You get what I'm saying? You didn't store away, you didn't sow or reap or store away. Right? So you've been shikwared in a situation, you're like, yo, we're in the miraculous now. Right? And God is saying that even for the bad, I provide. Part of the reason, and I'm saying this for myself, the thing that has been difficult about giving, it begins with trusting whether God is a provider. You get it? That's actually the thing that you need to be dealing with. Do I truly believe? Because if you did, then you wouldn't hoard. It's so beautiful for me to be able to participate in this ministry of giving. There's a friend of mine that I had made a commitment to support because they were going through some difficult moments, and I remember saying, I'm going to support these guys with X amount every month. And what happened is that, obviously because of this whole thing to do with COVID, is that it's meant that my business has been impacted. I mean, so many things my income has been impacted. I don't have the income that I had when I was making that decision.
You don't have surplus.
I don't have surplus. And it's interesting to me how sometime last month, where someone sent me some money that I was not expecting, right? And when I received it, in as much as I was like, oh wow, I think I needed this, I realized it was actually the exact amount that I had committed to give to that other person. Wow. And when it came, it's like I knew it wasn't mine. It took a few days for me to be like negotiating with God. I need these chobs. But then it's just kind of like, you know what? I want to be able to participate in this ministry of generosity. And the thing that was amazing to me is that God literally provided for me to be generous. That having sufficiency in all things, that you can abound in every good work. I was merely supposed to be a conduit, that I may be able to receive the blessing of giving, especially during this time, and the blessing that comes in being generous. That it's literally not just a thing that makes you feel good, it's like you're unlocking a flow. That's the reason why I was asking about the story of your friend, because he's understood something. He's just like, there's a flow. That even during this time, we cannot stop being generous. We can't stop the flow. God is giving us the strength and the ability with whatever it is that we have to be like, my guy, if you have 5 G's in your pocket and you need to give it to someone, give it. God will always provide for his children. That I can still commit to paying my house help because I don't need to cut down because I'm like, God is the one who provides. So let me continue being generous.
This is the promise, yeah. For the good of those